There we are. Yes, indeed.
There we are.
Namaste. Namaste. Here and now.
Namaste.
Uh,
Happy New Year.
yeah. Um, the topic that we were discussing is what's going on. What's going on in the world? uh,
Yeah, what is going
the mind is what's going on, and its unstableness. People, conscious beings, truly need to start turning their attention within, because there is no problem with the earth. You know, it is the problem. What has become problematic, matter of fact, is the identification with our minds. Instead of being the user of the mind has become in control of most beings. And what does that mean? It is that beings, the way the mind has controlled beings is that through belief, through your belief that I am this body, I am this mind, I have this different religion, I believe in this, I am this certain race, my name is such and such, I have this occupation. All this is dream, soaked up in an imaginary dream of your mind. What's the difference between being awakened and not being awakened is that the awakened one knows he's in a dream. The awakened one knows that there is no judging. There is just God, and God is not a judge. The only judges are judgmental minds. And once we free ourselves from that, we become liberated, and this fear of, of judgment and separation, it dissipates, it dissolves. And like I said before, there's nothing wrong with the world. You know, everything with the world, it's perfect. Matter of fact, if the world was, if it was off 10%, the world wouldn't be here. You know, so
Oh
everything
yeah.
is perfect,
Are we
perfect
are we
science.
talking about we're talking about the planetary alignment because is that what you're talking about the world is perfect as it is because there's a lot of untruths being told about the planetary because the planetary alignments just happened and everybody's saying that the new earth is now beginning and that the old earth is no longer going to be remaining, which is not truth. It's not the truth. It's the earth is the like you said, it's there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is that what becomes unstable is our mind and believing that the earth is causing all of these things. Now, don't get me wrong, like the moon and stuff, and the different cycles of the moon, it creates it controls the waves and mineral cycles of women. It has a lot to do with those type of things, physical things that goes on in the earth. But when it comes to problems, no, the earth is not causing problems, personal problems. We cause our own personal problems by believing in our minds that is full of judgment. And
So
once we,
would you say that the planetary alignment is creating a new earth? I would say that's not truth because the mind, like you said, once you awaken, then you're in new earth. I feel if there is a new earth that's happening, which I feel like that's an illusion too. Um, but if we were to create, if we were on the topic of the new earth, it would be an awakening, and it wouldn't have to do with anything outside of yourself.
well, if you want to put it that way, it'll be awakening to the moment that everything is perfect just the way it is. You see, it is
Mhm.
our mind that causes uh, problems because we listen to it instead of using it, instead of knowing that the mind is made of you and not the opposite. You are not made of the mind. You are the mind source. And not a lot of beings know this. They just think, okay, I am this name with this mind and body is who I am. No. You know the mind, you know the body, you witness it. It is yours to control, it is yours to take care of. And so everything is aligned just the way it's supposed to be. Everything is perfect just the way it is. And just even the being, who you are, you're perfect just the way you are. But it's always the mind that comes in and judges its own self. It judges the mind, judges the body with little things, and judges everything that it sees. You see, in reality, it is the mind that has named everything. The mind has named everything. And so we believe that everything is real, but it's only a dream. We call it a play, the divine play of God, of the divine itself. It is very simple. It is so simple that we overlook the pureness
Yeah.
of our being. Our
Yeah.
being is ever pure, all the time. And all we have to do is tune into the moment, and to readjust that. Once you tune into the moment, you realize that you've always been in the moment. You've always been present. You see, there is no coming to the present moment. You are the present moment. You see, and that's the sense of presence. I am. I am here. The I amness in you is divine. It is very, very special. And we take it for granted by identifying ourselves as a person. Now, don't get me wrong, when we say person or human, person more is more of a persona, a mask that you put on. But when you say human, it means that something from the earth. The body is from the earth. The body comes from the earth. But the divine itself is unborn. The consciousness itself is unborn. It is uncreated. And it goes on. Because of consciousness, we're able to die and there wouldn't be any world. So consciousness lives on. It keeps manifesting itself. It's expanding itself as we speak.
Yeah, we wouldn't be present. We wouldn't be aware of the present moment if we weren't in this vessel called the body.
Right. So we are the users of it, you know,
Right.
the users and the witness of the body, and actually the source. I
I
don't
like
like.
something that you said too the other day when you were saying, um, you guys, we have not been live to do a stream because we haven't been able to capture. We have so many conscious conversations during the day, and we haven't been able to actually capture them. But there was something that you had said to me the other day when you were saying that um, about you were saying like about consciousness and about how consciousness can't or you can't be aware of consciousness if it wasn't in the body. Is that what you were saying to me the other day? If you didn't have it, if we weren't in
Oh,
this
oh, if the consciousness was not there, there would be nothing.
right.
You see, and that's why we see consciousness as divine. We, matter of fact, even in science, we replace the name of matter with consciousness because matter itself has nothing to do with our direct experience. But consciousness does because we know the universe. The universe is what I would say, God's body, you see. And we
Yes.
are the knowers of it. We know this. Nothing else knows it. Scientists have sent probes and different objects millions and millions upon millions of miles out, playing American music, and nothing comes to it. You see what I'm saying? The universe is infinite, so you can't say, okay, there's nothing else. But right now, the consciousness is only right here. This is only the reality that there is. You see what I'm saying? Reality is right here. Reality is not on Mars. It's not on Jupiter. We know Jupiter and we know Mars, or what we call it, because we named it. We know these things, but reality, the consciousness is right here. Out of, oh my gosh, scientists say trillions upon trillions of galaxies, right? but the consciousness is right here. And that's very special.
That's very special.
So we are all special beings. It is not someone that is specialer. You see,
Right.
we are all equally special. We are all equally divine. And that's a part of the awakening to realize that. Because all we do, all most beings do is put our faith and we pray and such and we believe in this and believe in that. And from what I've seen through experience, that it just leads to more suffering. You see, it leads to more separation at that too. Much more separation because my
Yes.
religion is better than yours. My religion is better than yours. Oh, what are you talking about? And here
I'm
goes
better
war.
than you because of
War
this.
over religion. Huh?
I said, I'm better than you because of this, or
Yeah,
I'm better. I
yeah,
mean, it creates so much more suffering.
yeah.
Separation just creates suffering, period. I feel.
Mhm,
Doesn't matter if it's gender, race, uh, whatever, politics,
mhm,
religion, anything that creates separation
mhm.
creates so much suffering.
So much suffering. Now you may say, I have to be here and I have to survive and all. Yeah, you do. We survive, we live, we survive. But you are life itself. You are not a being living a life. You are life itself. So all of these things that we're going through is just our teacher, you know. Our
And
nature
you
is
don't
our
have to play in that. You don't have to play in that dream.
you don't have to
You
play
you
it.
you know,
And the thing
yeah, you
about
don't
it,
have to.
the awakened one knows it is just a play. And that brings so much weight, so much stress, so much suffering away when you know it is all just God's play. You know,
Brings peace
it brings so much
and
peace.
freedom,
Yeah.
a freedom that can't be described. I was telling somebody that was in the tribe the other day that it's just no amount of money or no amount of not having money could affect that freedom,
Right.
that peace.
Right. And
So
I have one more thing. One more thing, real quick, is before I forget it,
oh, we can keep going. We can keep going. We don't have the
um,
time.
is that one of my African brothers sent me a video the other day, and it was this church, right? And the pastor or whatever was going to baptize an individual, and the pastor asked him, "Is the Lord? Are you declaring the Lord your personal Savior and stuff?" And the guy looked at him and said, "I am Jesus." And they all paused. They all paused, and he kind of just thought he didn't know what he was saying, so he asked him again, right? Like he played it off,
Wow.
and the guy responded again, "I am Jesus." And so they didn't get mad or anything, but they kindly just kind of like booted him off and told you, "Oh yes, sir, just go out that door right there." And yes, and then they came back to service, right? And his words,
Power.
his words were like, "Okay, now that we come back to service, we declare Lord to be our Lord and Savior, and we don't deserve His worthiness. We don't deserve God's blessing, basically." And it tripped me out. I'm like, what? We
That is
come from
crazy.
love. We come from love. We come from love itself. But through these conditioning and people that want to control the world, they pump this fear. Oh yeah, you're not even worthy to be here. We're all sinners, you know. And this is what has controlled the world and what's made so many different religions is straight out of fear. And fear, along with doubt, oh man, it brings so much suffering. So much suffering.
I have
So
a question.
yeah,
Did they baptize him?
no, they told him to leave. They kindly
Wow.
asked him to leave. He stepped out the pool and he left.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that was
That
like,
is that
but that's
that's
yeah, it's an example of how easily that the mind it goes into this state of fear, and
my
we.
one thing is that like you said, like they promote fear, and fear promotes stress and anxiety and depression and suffering. It Fear creates a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
you know, physically, spiritually,
Mm.
financially.
Mm.
Fear creates so much. And my thing is about religion is that, you know, I was always told, you better get you a God fearing man. And it's like, why? I started to question it probably, I don't know, probably about 10, 15 years ago. It's like, why would you be afraid of God? If God is our creator and he is of love, why is there something to fear?
Right.
You know, so that is implicated into the plan. It's like, hey, fear, 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 which is so, it's fake news. I hate to tell you, but
It is very fake. It's very fake, and it's separation. It tells you I am this person that God created, but He created me finite and imperfect, and God's perfect.
and he's
That,
infinite, but he judges
yeah,
you.
yeah,
What?
that doesn't make sense.
How can that go together?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It was through just I guess through fear, pumping fear into everyone. God's gonna come get you if you don't do this. You better
And
do
trust
this
me,
right.
bro,
That's what I'm
we have lots of family that are
of course.
religious
Yeah.
and God fearing, and we just don't fit in
No.
because we know the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you are the creator.
Right. So it is simple. Like it was just saying, if God's perfect, you are perfect. If God has no imperfections, you have no imperfections. Because God can't create something finite. God can't create something that is lesser than itself. You know, just like the universe. The universe is unfolding within itself. God is unfolding within itself. And it is
You
all,
guys, since the beginning of the universe, has always been destruction
yeah,
and then rebuild,
yeah,
destruction,
yeah,
rebuild,
yeah.
destruction, a new tree, destruction. You know, like it's always been destruction and rebuild,
Hmm.
destruction and rebuild. It's always been that way. So it's like when people get on these platforms and they talk about, oh, the planetary alignment is here, guys. Um, you know, it's time for new Earth. It's already here. It's been here.
Yeah, it, it's here.
It's here now. Right
Here,
now, it's sitting here, right here at
right.
10:59. It is
Yeah,
here.
it's here right now, and it's also beautiful. It is beautiful. You know, it was a thing with Neil Tyson. He was saying he's a really good scientist, and he was saying if there was any sightings of aliens and they came to look over our planet, and we see ourselves as a great intelligence, but he was like, how can you be a great intelligence when the aliens would come down and see all the borders, they would see all the different religions, they would see all the different separation, and say, that is not true intelligence. True intelligence is one. True intelligence is one. There's no
Absolutely.
yeah, there's no separation.
There's no higher intelligence than consciousness.
Yeah, yeah,
And when you're conscious, you know all are one.
yeah. You know
Nothing
it.
more,
You know it.
nothing less.
Nothing less. And it's not something that you boast about. It's in your heart. It's a conviction in your being. It's a discovery and a remembrance within your own being. You see,
Absolutely.
we can only point to it, but you have to discover it. And once you discover it, there's no turning back. The truth, not you, the truth will change you. It will convert you back to your normal, original self, which is pure. And you still will be in the dance of the play. Me and my beloved still in the play. We're still thriving. We're growing. We have businesses. We have children. But behind it all,
Yes.
we know that we are divine and we are perfect just the way we are. I was telling my beloved, just be natural. Naturalness is beauty, you know. We don't judge ourselves, we don't judge the body, we just go with how it is, you know. You know, we still have desires and cravings and stuff like that, but we know behind it all it is still all divine. It is perfect.
Yes, I agree with that. And I always say, like, sometimes I'm the goddess of love and sometimes I'm the goddess of war. I'm going to change that.
Oh,
It's going to be, I'm always the goddess of love, but sometimes I'm the goddess of war.
right.
And
It's a
that's okay too.
it's a balance. Just
Hmm.
like when it snows, spring comes again and all the beauty re-rises. You know, it's it's all beautiful. You know, and it's all happening right now. We are the witnesses of it all. How wonderful is that?
Yeah.
Uh,
So the question was, what is happening? You right now, here,
yeah, being,
thus.
being, yes, being, life, existence,
Don't
love.
take things too serious, you guys. Don't hold on to things. Don't. It's just surrender it. Surrender it.
Right.
And
Even
it's
though.
so simple because even when we were talking to I was talking to one of our tribe the other day, they were saying like it was so simple, you know? It just is that's it. It's just being present in this moment right now.
Hmm. Yeah, just being present. The
Not
joy of.
thinking about yesterday or tomorrow, just right here right now, right this second,
Because
you
all
know.
that's part of the play. It's a part of the illusion. If you think of time and past, that's because it really doesn't exist. There's just the nowness.
Right, and we're not saying, "Oh, don't think about like the doctor's appointment you have to go to tomorrow." We're not saying that. Like we're saying be present. You can still play like you're always present, right?
Yeah,
But it's the mind that's distracting you from staying knowing who you are. The
right.
mind is saying, "Oh yeah, you have to do this and you have to be here, you have to go here, you have to do this. You have to be someone. You
Hmm.
have to be special. You have to be seen. You must be heard. Look
Right.
at you."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not the truth, you know. Of course, people they work their whole lives and they get to a point where they're in their golden years and they just now like, what did I do with my whole life?
Right.
Who am I? Um, what what's going to happen to me when I leave the body, when I die? What's going to happen to my family? Who am I again? And that's a perfect time to come to self-realization and to awaken. That's usually when people do awaken. It's very rare that people awaken as couples, but also awaken to themselves individually,
Hmm.
because there's such the illusion of separation. But it's a great time. Um, Anytime's a great time. And there was also somebody that had said something on social media too that said, not everyone is here to awaken. That is not the truth.
Yeah. Because that's awakening is the only. If there was goals, would be the real goal is to awaken. Everything else is play. Everything else is dream. To awaken back to your divine natural being. To
Is the
be.
only goal.
Yeah.
Everyone is here to awaken. And even by saying that not everyone's here to awaken, that's creating separation too. What are you talking about? Now, it might not be our job. Maybe people won't want to hear it from us. We're going to keep speaking.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, is to help people awaken,
Yeah.
to become free.
Yeah.
You
And
know, that's what me and the messenger are here for. That's what we're here for. We are placed here to help other people to awaken. And everyone, ultimate goal here is to awaken.
yeah.
If everyone came to an awakening on this planet, the planet would be so different.
Yeah.
There would be no need for food or poverty or suffering
Hmm.
because everybody would be helping each other
Hmm.
with whatever anybody needed.
It would be about growth and not separation. How can we feed the planet and make it perfect? you know.
Because you would see everyone as God, everyone you met. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, God. Like it would be so different, but it may not happen in this timeline. And that's okay. We're going to still speak, and we're going to still be here to deliver messages of love and freedom
Yeah.
and peace.
Yeah. Now, those who don't know, okay, the what we're speaking of is that all all conscious beings, we share the same being. We share the same consciousness. It is one. You see, there's not no such thing as an individual consciousness or individual being. You see, we all have different states of mind. Okay, and that's due to the environment and conditioning. You see, so it might it may be a little bit confusing. Like, oh, I'm totally different color than you, or I'm different. I look different than you. No, the being, the I amness, is the same within all beings. You see, if you say I am also. You see, the isness, the I amness, is God. It is the divine itself, because we were all given life. You see, and God, we're not separate from that. You see what I'm saying? We're not separate from that being of God. So I would like to say that we are the beingness of God, both the unmanifested and the manifested Spirit of God. So
Absolutely. And if they are seeing color or anything else, then they're not ready. Do you know what I'm saying? And we just send them love.
yeah,
If they're seeing separation or they're judging, they're not ready. They're not, we just keep delivering the message. That's it. That's all we can do. We can't, you know, force nobody to come back to themselves,
no, no,
which is crazy to me because it's like I was explaining to the tribe the other day that, listen, we're not trying to say, hey, support our mission, believe in this, come here and let's build and you guys follow us and let's, no, we want you to believe in yourself.
yeah,
We want you to awaken to yourself because
yeah,
when you do that, you're awakening to us
yeah,
and to everything. And like he said, one, the isness, the beingness, the I amness, the presence.
yeah. Yes, it is the sense of presence that we all have existence. And to realize that is just to simply be free. You see, it is kind of like a knowing that you are already free, but you are bound by your own thoughts. And you free yourself from your thoughts. And there you are, just a pure being. Not a color, not a name, just the being itself.
Formless.
And that's what real meditation is, to become empty and to recognize the real. And what does empty mean? It's just to be totally empty of all the stuff that you've learned, all the stuff that you identify with. Become empty of it and just notice yourself. Sit with yourself for a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. But you have to do it wholeheartedly and with openness and the willingness to to simply be. because
Right.
that's the hardest challenge to most beings is how can I be? I have an appointment tomorrow. I have to do this in a few minutes. Such and such. It's like okay,
A lot of
this is
people
what
can't
I
spend that
gotta do.
time with themselves.
Right, right.
A lot of people just can't do it. They just can't, you know, spend 15 minutes by themselves or in silence or, but take the time, try to,
Yeah,
try to. And then you can always go back to your dream state of where you have this bill to pay and that to do. And
yeah,
because that's never going to leave you, the I amness. Once you find it, it's there. It's not going anywhere. You can always drop all the stuff at the bag and at the door and come back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let me drop this real quick. But
Yeah.
the thing is the freedom. Can you imagine not have to suffer, not have to carry around suffering and fear and judgment and uh, just just all of it, all of the stuff that people carry around with them
Mm-hmm.
due to the conditioning of religion. Can you imagine not having to deal with that, not having to feel like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? And just not having to deal with that is just, it's beyond even what I can even explain to you.
All right. We are simply here just to celebrate life. We are simply here just to
And
celebrate life.
joy and happiness.
Yeah. And enjoy the wonders of life. That's all. That's all. There's so much love there. And just enjoying life itself. Be the truth. Be who you are. Don't let the mind convince you otherwise. You are the master of the mind. And if you need to tell yourself this, I would so. You are the master of the mind, the very source of it. Without you, there is nothing. There is no mind to arise. You are the consciousness. Effortlessly is your being. Effortless
So
is
here we
your
are to remind you.
being.
Here we are to remind you.
Yeah.
Gentle reminders of love, 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 love.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there was something else I had wanted to talk about, but I think I forgot. I'll let you go ahead and close, and if I remember, then we'll pick up the phone and record it again. But I love you guys, and I'll let Gigi close with you guys.
Yes. To be yourself is to simply be empty of the one that is full of itself. The mind is always full and it's always on the go. So make your morning meditation just to be empty before you hit the road or do what you have to do during the day. Just become empty and be with yourself just for a few moments and then engage in the world and see what happens. You will have a light and more joyful day because you had a chance just to be empty, just to be nothing. We take on everything that the mind has produced and it becomes very heavy, you know, and creates suffering. So when we just take the time to be, there's so much peace and love and freedom there, just within your own being. So I'll leave you with that. Peace and love to all. Om
Peace and love.
Namaste.